So, hello everybody again. Let me just put this here. There we go. Um, we have this first update in the winter seasons for North America. Um, it 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 it's funny, but it's almost like the year is almost there. So we have we wanted to take the chance to do a little bit of a recap of all the things that we have as we are approaching the end of the year, all the things that we have been launching along 2024, and just by doing like the exercise of collecting the all the items that we have been deploying over the last 11 months. We were just impressed about the sheer amount of things that we have been working on. So on top of the usual agenda, we have this recap. It's just a one slide. Um, it was so crowded that we couldn't even finish to set up neatly. But you will see that there's a lot of stuff out there, and then um, the these last 2 months were more about maintenance for us, like because all the things that we have been deploying along through this year, there was a moment that we have to take a breather and do be more less aggressive and more conservative in launching new stuff. And we had like essentially October, November was essentially more about like performance. So we have less to show you today in terms of what we've done in the last month in November, because this is the beginning of November. We just postponed this because of Thanksgiving. Uh, so just to take perspective, a little bit perspective, I just uh, concentrated, consolidated many of the things that we have been deploying over the last months, and there's a ton of things that we have done uh, in every area of the platform. I won't name everything, but you probably recognize some of the things out here. But everything from the new features on the yard sheet, like the way we change the yard sheet section, the whole new advanced feeding features, the Elanco interface we launched it this year, the integration with Stogart, even if we launched it like some of the last months of last year, it was really this year that we, after some improvements, we really began to see traffic, the connection with the micro machines, uh, a lot of features here and there for feeding, for ration management, um, for supply management, a lot of the of different ways to look at the information and see different reports, the dark and white mode for the operational screen of feeding, a lot of improvements on the chute oriented towards giving more flexibility, and we are not done yet there. Like a lot of things, like details on, I don't know, things on the expenses side, things like compound interest, like more flexible costs, and different specific reports, different alerts, the well, all the like the advanced feeding itself is a set of features. It's not just one feature, like that includes all the feeding protocols, all the mixer capacity per ration, the automatic order generator, and then all the improvements that we did over time with bank related to bank score, and we haven't even finished it there. um so this has been a wild year for improvement, and 2025 it's going to be even wilder. Not wilder in the sense that we're gonna um, make that many changes to the sections that we already have, because in that regard we want to just continue to stabilize more and more the system for the things that already work. And I think that's part of the maturity level that we need to reach, because we've done like a lot of new stuff, and now it's more about giving a little bit of peace on the things that already work. But also the wildness, it's more about um, doing complete new things that so far we are not doing. And I'll tell you more in the next update webinar, all the agenda that we have for 2025, which includes, of course, AI stuff, includes pasture management features, and a lot of the new cool stuff. So I think this one slide is just to give a little bit of perspective of how aggressive we have been, and we intend to continue being on improving this platform. Um, so as I said before, in the last 2 months, we were a little bit cautious because we wanted to do more maintenance just to make it more, I don't know, slightly improvements in things that already work. Sometimes it's more of I don't know, usability or performance, so that things load faster. That is something that we continue to do every time, because the more people use their platform, the more we need to continue to make it agile. And or sometimes we just find new ways to do things that we did before in the back on the background of things, that allows us to be continue to be agile, even with more and more data coming into the pipeline. But even so, we were able to add some stuff. We added a new device for skate heads, one a model from Gallagher that we did not have in the among the optional devices. That's cool. Like, some people are asking us here and there. We added a version of ration management, which was only so far in tablet, and in web version we now added in on the cell phone. So if anybody now in the cell phone, with the last update that we had, it was not mandatory. So I would suggest it, if you want to update it, just do it because it's cool. I'll show you a little bit of how that works. And then a big improvement that you don't see until you need it in the shoot section, um, which is oriented to give more flexibility. And this is a big one because it will allow us to do other further improvements on the shoot section. So far, like, as you know, so far, um, the you can process cattle in Cattler uh, at the shoot only by creating a shoot order, right? You create a shoot order, you establish what are the lots that you're going to use, blah blah blah, and then you go and treat and weigh or whatever is that you're going to do. And it's always limited to the lots or the animals that are there in that load order. So that, like, so far limits us a little bit on what happens when some other animal that from other lot appears there, shows up, and that happens all the time. So now every time that you execute a load order, we don't only um, download to the memory of the tablet you're using the animals, the information on the animals that you're gonna process. We already do. We load all the information of all the animals in the video, regardless of them being on that order or not, so that if some of those appear, you can process it like as an exemption anyways. And this is part. this is an important thing because it will allow us to, in a very near future, to activate that button that for the ones that are using already should is still disabled, which is called manual mode, which is just I just want to process cattle out of nowhere without with no order, just because perhaps I just pulled up, I don't know, 15 animals from different pens, and I'm here and I just want to work with it. So that's an important one as we continue to give more flexibility. So that I think the tricky thing about this, about cattle and the shoot, is that we could just have released like everything from day one, but this is a real moment of information sinking. This is like a ground truth information in, and if we just enable to do anything, then you have a lot of inconsistencies with the data down the pipeline. So we really took seriously how to um, how to release flexibilities in Cascade. And when you see the manual mode, you will like it because you will also don't have you will not have to also pick between read mode or assign mode. It will just like you and the shoot and the animals and just do whatever you want to do. Um, Regarding the ration management section in mobile, I have here um, a view of how it looks. Let me see if I can play it. Yeah, there you go. So now one of the cool things is that you can also slide between on the tab bar. Um, so you can see, I just stopped the video. I'm gonna do it again. If we have more sections that don't feed there, you don't have to just scroll it. And now you can use enter into a ration and change it and change any ingredient. And you can see that there's like a good improvement on the design on the user interface. It's much cooler. This is a new guy that we hired for user experience, and it works really well. So just try it out. It's already present in the last update, um, and I think you will like it. So um, more on the following updates. Well, this is a detail here, but I want to just I wanted to continue on this like more general. So these are the things that you will see coming in the next few months. Um, One big one is I already spoke about this in the last webinar, but like as this is getting already executed, I wanted just to put this as a reminder because this is a big deal for us, and we hope that it's a big deal for you guys and for all the people that are using animal health. This will not come at an extra cost. It will just be the animal health that we think that it should uh, how it should be like. So basically, we're talking about much stronger treatment protocols. Just like it's just not just a cocktail; it's a whole roadmap for I don't know what happens and first treatment, second treatment, third treatment. What are the routes? Like descriptions on there, so that the vets can really be much more detailed on it. You will be able to replace products for one product that of equivalent functions for one product is out of stock, or just like pick different between different treatments like first or second or third. And also you will be able to assign a diagnosis to any of those treatments or a body condition, and then based on that you will be able to have reports and statistics. So that's something that we begin to collect more on a detailed basis, which is part of the second big module here. So more traceable disease and pullouts so that we can extract more information. And then that can take the form of a report or a certain or just downloading information. But it's just basically the ability to data mine more of everything that's happening from a health perspective. Um, and then I don't know, having like breakdowns. So more health features on the animal pen writer animal profile, which is when you go on with the cell phone or the tablet and you just pick an animal, um, being able to like pick from a list, and also adding temperature or adding a diagnosis, and then of course being able to leverage that data. Um, Having a multi select menu for your when you're adding like a protocol, but then you want to add on top of that a product. Today you can just do one or the other. Um, and then yeah, more health reports like for, treatment response reports, morbidity and mortality breakdowns. Being able to backdate product costs, vet product costs on supply management, so like you can do already for the feed. And well, the cattle processing part is part of what we already have talked about on the shoot side, as considering shoot side as part of health. And of yeah, and in shoot I had forgotten to say like a little bit more intuitive UI for whenever you're creating your order. With today is kind of a little bit scrappy. You'll see that it improves like a lot. So that's just for animal health, and should um, one of the big things that we have coming, and it completes the Feeder Pro package, is the advanced inventory. So the ability to connect movements of supplies with purchases. So adding the purchases and connecting it, and also being able to avoid like double entry with your accounting system. So connecting, as we connect to more accounting systems, we'll be able to do so with more systems, of course. But you will always have a like a minimal functionality to do it within Cattler. Adding SKUs with barcodes and QR codes. I don't know, you have the bag of whatever product and you just read it, and it's up there and you don't have to type it down. So this is our war against data entry. So I don't know, everything is easier and less, takes less time. We have waiting from some time, like having more of the Elanco metrics, because we are receiving more information on from Elanco, from the database pool, and we are not exposing it. And it was just like a matter that we just remained there, and there was a ton of things that came in also into the pipeline, and we just didn't have the time to do so. But it's kind of a low hanging fruit that we have there, just to deploy. We'll try to do it in January. And the couple of exciting things, like the first cow calf and pasture management features. So on the cow calf side, the ability to create like calves, create like register births, and connect calves with cattle, with cows and bulls, and bring in some genetic information. On the pasture side, being able to create paddocks as you create pens today, with areas assigned and with the ability to add a pasture in there, with the ability to connect with pasture readings, and also creating rotational circuits so that you know that cattle are moving, and you know you have an agenda for, I don't know, 15 days in this paddock, another 15 days in another paddock. That should impact on the consumption of pasture. So it's a whole new thing. And another exciting thing, and there's even more exciting things, but these are the ones that we're focusing right now in the short term, is the ability to connect with the scale of the truck that brings in cattle or brings in my commodities. So that gets all streamlined uh, into the whole mass balance of the feed yard, and we can also improve the inventory management from that point of view. And embed contracts that you might have with your vendors in that way. So it's a whole new area that will be inputting into Gather. So um, that's a lot on itself. Uh, Hopefully, in the next webinar, we'll tell you a little bit about what on this it's already coming out. I would say most likely the first two items, um, and probably many more items and a like a more robust agenda for the whole year to come. So that's it for today. I don't know if anyone wants to have any questions that is related or not related to all this that we have just told. Don't be shy, guys. Just anything you want to throw at us.
Do you see incorporating EIDs into more things besides just the animal health, potentially giving um, more diagnostics or analytics, I guess, on a per animal basis? So if you put in information at the time of sale, and you obviously record that information throughout the life that it's on the feed yard, you can maybe start to dive into diagnostic or analytics about the individual animals.
Well, yeah. So I think we are putting some of the bricks that will help. So the ability to track information on an individual basis is something that we already have from day one. Um, with this improvement on the animal health side, we can track much more information that we weren't able so far because the animal health section was not sophisticated enough. And now like with this we can tie any of all of these events happening into to an individual basis because we already handle that individually, regardless of whether we are showing or not some functionalities, specific functionalities related to that. Like all what you see is just a little part of what is there. So we are like building a castle, and we're just putting another part on the animal health, and whatever is on the animal health side we will be able to tie it to the individual. So from then on we can think, hey, what are the things that I want to see on a what are the alerts uh, that I want for an individual, like what is the combination of factors coming from the animal health side and of course applied to the individual that I want to have as a alert or a trigger for anything. Like so far, we have the withdrawal date with triggers individually alerts, but we can have, I don't know, like unlimited amounts of alerts. Uh, but we on the animal health side, we really needed to have this thing that we are about to launch now, so we can really be much more sophisticated on any diagnosis on an individual level. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I just was curious if you see adding, more just on the performance side, not just on the health. And I see a lot of value in the diagnostics on the health. We've had issues with diseases where, we've had vets that can't really explain what's going on. So, um, some diagnostics as to what the feed yard conditions might be that might be, leading to certain death loss. I mean, I can see some value there, but on the performance side, understanding maybe what pens have better rates of gain, or the lighter animals in the starting group, do they finish out at a particular rate of gain difference than the larger animals coming in? Do
Yeah,
they
I
potentially
see what you're
grade
saying.
different? And I guess I'm curious if that's in your roadmap.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a section that we haven't launched yet. Um, we have the designs of that. We haven't like yet been able because like in between that, like all of these things are more functionalities, like operational aspects, got in the middle, and we kept kicking it, which is the analytics section, and it has uh four essentially four subsections And then when Alanco came in, we thought that we would add a fifth one. But what one was specifically called performance, the other one was animal health, the other one was economics, and I don't remember the fourth one. And the performance, it was hey, like just how to access information from different angles. um as this is not being like yet put on the pipeline, in the sense that we have the designs and a good idea of what we wanted and how it should look, but there's a ton of information about, hey, how you guys want to see that information, like what some of the things that you just mentioned. If you want us to help us and just point out like 5 bullet points, for us it's super helpful, because with your input and some other people's inputs, we can just abstract, like make an abstraction of that and say, oh, okay, these are like the top five, I don't know, filters or reports that people want to see. And the information is there. It's just about how you look at the information and the time that takes us to build that either report or sub filter of the analytics section. Yeah, but it's definitely on the roadmap.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Ignacio Luke Perman in the chat asked, how about facial recognition integration, such as 406 bovine?
So the our positioning in front of all the sensing companies. I don't know. It could be that. It could be bank reading automation with cameras. It could be animal weight prediction with using cameras, or smart syringes, or anything that does something. Our idea is just to sync with them and via interfaces, and just being able to put them in value within the app, so that people can do that. We like, this is what we have already done with all the EAD companies. We just sync with them, and we have a couple of also features. Some of those are there, some of those are not there, that give you like something else that we don't directly do, but that we can also expose. So that will be great probably for when we launch the Caucaf side of things. Um, I have my personal opinion about facial recognition, in the sense that at the end of the day, you always depend on homologating that facial recognition certain point against your EIDs or some sort of ID, because it's very difficult otherwise. So that's a conversation that we are open to have. Probably not gonna happen in the next, I don't know, 6 months, where we will probably at certain point where we get like most of the workload that on what we're working right now is, hey, let's look at all the sensor companies. Of course, we're already looking at some of those, and so how we can integrate with these guys, what is the advantage that they give us, and how we can make it work within Cutler. That's kind of the idea. There's a ton of features out there that we will be more than happy to integrate with. Explain the Herdex connectivity. What reader is compatible with Cutler, and with what scale head do their tags work? Um, so Herdex has essentially two main readers. One is the one that they would say promote the most, which is I just forgot the name right now. It's an acronym. Uh, it's the one that we have already integrated. Um, and Yeah. So and that's the one that works well, in the sense that, you can read, like we can read with it, and it works, and the tags are very reasonable. Um, I would say for many people that would be an overkill if you're not chute in the processing barn, but that thing has a lot of other features that are interesting. If you're, for instance, you have cattle in the water trough and you want to identify. So that's the one that we have already synced with, and we have just received from them the HSR. Thank you. That's the HSR is the one that we have already synced with. I think we think that they are good, like a good serious company, and the device is solid in what they do. We had a couple of issues like making the integration, but I think we have already overcome that. Um, and we just received the other one, which is the handheld, which you can use also like outside, or you can use in the processing barn or outside the processing barn, and that will be also be used in our platform with the pen writer. Um, so yeah, I would recommend the that reader. The tags, you can use their tags or you can use other, yeah, high frequency tags, but I think that their tags are really good. Any other question? Oh, you asked what's K-head? What's K-head? Any K-head that works with us. So I think any K-head. Because we use them not as a hub, we use them just as a satellite. So for us, it's just another EID reader, and then we read from this K-head. So it's not doesn't depend on them what is K-head. It depends on what K-head we connect with, and we connect with almost with every K-head in the market. Sorry for my voice, a little bit rusty. Okay, if there's no any other question, like just throw it if you still have one question in mind. Feel free to send us any other question. Send us bullet points with suggestions about the things that you would like to see. We really care for those. Um, and we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a great end of the year, and we'll see you next month. Thank you, guys.